Wala naman yun sa Pilipinas eh.
Okay, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're still here with Bam Aquino, this bright gentleman from from Thailand.
Thailand, city in Davao.
Okay, in Davao. And we are joined in now by two bright young students of MBA on Social Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Development. We have Carissa Cartagena and Arvic Francisco. Good afternoon and welcome to No Limit. I understand that you're the one who organized this talk for Bam Aquino. Would you like to tell us something about what will happen tomorrow?
Tomorrow there will be a forum. This is a symposium where we invited Bam Aquino to talk for especially for those young professionals and young entrepreneur enthusiasts in terms of social development in Zamboanga City.
I see.
Yes.
And how would you like this, after this talk, how would you like this to be realized here in Zamboanga? How would you go about the process?
We really did expect that this would turn out to be a very big event. Actually, it's actually just a part of our requirement under social entrepreneurship and enterprise development under Dr. Mael Amsid. And then, most probably, with the more effective and efficient ways of spreading the news or spreading the very idea of social entrepreneurship, I believe most of the people there will be able to grasp an idea of how social entrepreneurship could be a big benefit to the society at large.
Well, actually, you probably represent the new breed of graduates from Ateneo. Medyo ngayon, we are not breeding young men and women to become employees anymore, but we are breeding young men and women who will own their own business in the future.
Yes.
Do you think that the young people right now are more adept to this concept, or are they just waiting to get a good job after graduation?
It's actually regardless of age. It's actually an active generation nowadays because of not only of the limelight, but as well as the media, the internet as well. Everything else becomes a lot more modern nowadays. It's a lot easier to blend in with the society or with a bigger group.
Bam, how would you assess the younger generation now? I mean, insofar as this is concerned, we were always compared to other countries na medyo lahat ng mga graduates natin naging empleyado lang, naging pan lang. Have we made an improvement since the time from 2 years ago?
Not yet, no. But we're gonna get there. Hindi mo pa talaga masasabi na the enterprise mindset has really spread throughout the whole country. But I think, with a class like theirs and maraming mga snippets of groups of young entrepreneurs who are coming out, I think slowly we're getting there. Kasi, that's one thing that we miss. Filipinos are born entrepreneurs. We have it innate sa atin. Madiskarte tayo. We like talking to people. We like looking for solutions. It's just that it was never really offered as an option in the past. No? When I graduated from college, no one thought. None of my friends thought about putting up a business. That's in the 90s. No? But now, it's becoming more of a reality. It's easier to put up a business. There are internet solutions. You can go on Multiply. You can sell. Things are much easier now. Ang kulang na lang siguro is maybe a facility for capital, and I know that there are a lot of groups who are slowly doing that. Support in terms of market linkages, but definitely the internet malaking bagay because it's easier now to engage in business because of that. So, paunti-unti, we're gonna see more young people becoming entrepreneurs, and I really think that if a set of those entrepreneurs become social entrepreneurs, or yung kanilang mga negosyo actually down to the benefit of communities, then we can see more progress talaga that we want to see in communities.
It's nice to know when you mentioned about the Filipinos are entrepreneurs with themselves, because here in Mindanao, for example, most of our tribal communities here, especially the different Muslim groups we have been traders for so long a time in history.
Exactly.
Yeah. And maybe that is what we should really try to espouse and try to push forth when we try to address the problem for Mindanao and try to lift us up from its economic woes at this point in time.
One of my mentors in entrepreneurship, si Jay Bernardo, Professor Jay Bernardo, he gave me an example. Sabi niya, do you want to know kung sino yung entrepreneur? Sabi niya, ganito yung kwento niya. Sa EDSA daw, bumabaha. Okay, may baha. And then a bus came, it wasn't near the curb, so baha. So yung mga tao, bumaba dun sa bus, bumabasa. Sabi niya, bangka. Okay, so bumabasa. So, may mga tambay daw na bata na doon sa tabi, nakatingin ganyan, looking at the bus, the baha, and the sidewalk. Ang ginawa nila, kung sila ng plywood, nakaabang na sila. Pagdating ng bus, lalagay na yung plywood dun sa foot of the bus, diretso sa sidewalk. And people would pass through that. They would make a makeshift bridge. And on the way, hingi sila ng pera, bibigyan sila ng piso. Sabi niya, yan ang entrepreneur. They saw a problem, they found a solution, they created value, and the people who are paying them are happy to pay them because they're providing a service. Sabi niya, that's an entrepreneur. Now, can you imagine if we have that mindset in more young people, actually not just young, no? In more Filipinos, we look for problems, hindi naman tayo nagkukulang ng mga problema. Creative solutions, we're very creative people. And once we create those solutions for those problems, people will be willing to pay you because you have solved a problem that is very real to
That
them.
is true. That is true.
Exactly.
So how do you do that here in Zamboanga?
I think the opportunity for us will be tomorrow. I think it is a good venue for all of us to be able to come up with this, because social development enterprises, I think it's something that we have to implant into the minds of the young people, because the relevance and the importance of that, not only in our society but more so in our economy.
Do you have some sort of a workshop that wherein you get young people involved to come up with some creative ideas for business opportunities?
I think so far in Ateneo, we don't have that workshop, but that is why we came up with this kind of activity, wherein this is an avenue or an opportunity for all young entrepreneurs to join us.
But tomorrow we'll be inviting some social enterprises as well to be able to give a short talk regarding their businesses.
You know, there's a lot of good ideas that we have right there, especially among the young people. It's a question of capitalization for most of these good ideas.
Yes.
Yung mga bigger players natin, are they willing to invest in the young?
Actually, we just launched the Project Pagsulong Prize from PLDT. It's a 1 million peso prize for social enterprises, for youth in social enterprises. So people can just Google that, Project Pagsulong ng PLDT. We launched it just the other day. It's the largest prize I am aware of for a social enterprise plan and implementation.
You know how I wish that some of our bigger businessmen here in Zamboanga would also do the same, especially with the sardine industry. We can diversify and create more products out of even agar-agar, which is some of our biggest products here in Mindanao. I don't know if there are some moves right now to try to
Yes, in Lamisahan, they have these wrappers. They actually turn them into bags, eco-friendly bags. Wrappers like pancham or juice wrappers, juice.
That would be a good idea. That would be a nice idea. If we can start turning garbage into money, I think that would be very good for Zamboanga, considering, of course, that we have been having problems with our environment and our trash in Zamboanga City. I don't know if that's an opportunity for some young businessmen like you here in Zamboanga to try talking about how we can come up with new ideas for turning trash into money.
Correct.
Yeah. So, how do you work out? I mean, especially sa mga barangays natin. Kasi I think what we really need is to try to sell this concept in our own communities and let the community be involved in coming up with a certain product that they can excel in. How do you go about with this concept of trying to sell this to the barangays?
I'll give you an example. In one of the other social enterprises that I'm part of is called Rags to Riches. That's the one that gets support from the fashion designers. So we basically work with Payatas in Quezon City. That's a dump site area. The communities around Payatas, they usually make mga basahan or mga rugs. Wini-weave nila yung mga discarded scraps of cloth. So when we got there, they were already weaving the doormats and the basahan from scraps of cloth. And the nanays were earning only about 1 to 2 pesos per piece. Okay, so you can imagine they work, maybe they can do 7 or 8 in one day and earn only about 2 pesos per piece. Yun lang kinikita nila. So the first thing that we did was we linked them directly to selling outlets. So instead of the middlemen who would earn the bulk of the money, connect mo sila directly to the selling outlets, to, at that time, a bazaar or a supermarket. And yung 2 pesos nila, naging 16 pesos. Okay? But still, at the end of the day, that wasn't a lot of money. So, initially, if you're able to make the process more efficient, may tulong ka na kaagad. But the real innovation with Rags to Riches was when we got Rahul Laurel and Amina Aranas and these other designers to come in and develop fashion products made out of the scraps of cloth. So yung mga nanay, instead of weaving mga basahan na pampunas ng mga dumi, they actually started creating these fashionable items in these bags, which we eventually sold for a few thousand pesos. So you can see that the value is actually increased as the interventions also come in. So, unang-una, we had to work with the community. So, we worked with an apostolate of the Jesuits, actually. So, nakababad na kami kaagad sa komunidad. Second is we looked at their process. Ano ba yung mga proseso na pwedeng baguhin that increased the value of what they were selling. And then third, we came in with design. So, when the design came in, yung rags, naging bags. That's why it's called Rags to Riches. And when you started to sell the bags, suddenly, that's when the margins went up. That's when you can start selling it in malls instead of selling in supermarkets. And you slowly grow the opportunity of the community to earn more.
As you said, it's a question of finding out your opportunities. Yun pa natin. I remember before that we had one guy who used to collect all this rubber, used rubber na medyo butas na. And he turns this into chinelas. And come to think of it, the chinelas that he made out of this was even better than some of the commercially made Havayanas or whatever you have. Walang exposure.
The next challenge actually to community-based enterprises is convincing the public to patronize them. Yun kasi yung isang problema sa atin eh. There are a lot of communities that create very good products, quality products. Now, we have those bags, we have our bags, our rugs, whatever. But the Filipino, and this is probably where media can come in also, we need to start looking at supporting our own products.
Funny that you mentioned that bag. Kasi yesterday I had with me no less than Chief Superintendent Estillas of the police. And then we were talking about the firearms for the police. Our police are so underarmed right now, and they don't have enough firearms. And here we have them now who sell their firearms illegally because they don't have the license. Why don't we come up with standards for this firearms producers and come up with products that can provide for our own military and our own police? Medyo mas maganda siguro yun if we buy from our own people rather than buying it from abroad na medyo mas mahal, and we only cater to those who get 10% out of the commission from the international sales, diba?
It's really a mindset eh. There's a mindset. Meron talagang mindset ng Pinoy sometimes na hindi tayo willing bumili ng sariling atin. And that's actually quite sad. No? And one thing that people miss out in social enterprise is that as you are educating communities in producing quality products, you need to educate the public also in terms of patronizing these products. Kailangan mag-lead sila. So, ang challenge sa communities is, hindi ako gagawa ng produkto na mababa yung quality. Because I'm already doing a hard sell. I'm already trying to convince someone to buy this product. I have to make sure that if they try the product, they will be happy, they will be satisfied, they will have value for money. On the other hand, you try to get naman the public to say, try it at least once. Because if you try it once, and you can see that the quality is of a good quality, you should patronize that again and again. So with Rags to Riches, of course, kasama natin dyan, mga designers like Rahul Laurel, our number one rule is you cannot come up with a product that does not match the name of our designer, which is Rahul Laurel. So you have to make sure yung zipper niyan, maayos, yung weave niyan, tight, it should stand up to scrutiny. Diba?
Dapat good quality materials that you use also.
And that will be a challenge for the communities because hindi rin sila, when they begin, most of the time, hindi sila sanay to produce products of that top-notch quality. So you slowly get them.
Do you have big players who would like to invest in terms of providing the materials?
Oh yeah! Maraming gustong tumulong. One thing I found out in social enterprise is that there are a lot of people who are willing to help. You have companies donating their scrap cloth. You have large companies donating sewing machines. You have big department stores not changing their yung terms nila so that they can support smaller businesses. So there's a lot of support that can be done. No? We just need more entrepreneurs like these guys who have the great ideas who will really organize the communities and come up with these bright ideas. Kasi hindi mo mawala yung communities, napakaraming komunidad sa Pilipinas na kailangan ng tulong. Napakalaki ng merkado, maraming pwedeng bumili. The middleware is what is lacking.
Yeah, that's what I've been very critical of here in Sobuanga kasi. Kasi for example, sa sardinas natin, would you believe that we still import tomatoes from
China.
China
Yes,
right
from
now.
China.
When we could give, maybe buy the seedlings
Yes.
and try to give it to our farmers so that the entire region can benefit from
Exactly.
the agricultural products and sell it to our sardine factories here in Zamboanga. No? I mean, it's a question of trying to network out naman siguro sa mga farmers natin and give them a good opportunity to be able to make money.
You're starting to think like a social entrepreneur, Ronnie. That's the way a social
Yeah. But the thing is that, I mean, how do we get this concept to be espoused by our barangay captains, perhaps?
Kaya yan. It just takes time. Hindi siya overnight, no? In fact,
Yes.
yung isang experience namin dyan with Rags to Riches was, nung una may konti tayong resistance, no? They will resist because you will need to see top quality. You will need to see that yung gawa nila is of a high value. And sometimes yung mga nanay, ma-hurt sila pag nireject yung mga gawa nila. But this is a war of attrition eh. Ano to eh? Matibay to eh. So if you're constantly there, day to day, and really saying, hindi, seryoso tayo dito, we will have to do it like a business, you will eventually earn from this, we will eventually earn from this, and you keep at it, eventually the transformation will happen. But it's not for the faint of heart because it doesn't happen overnight. Talagang
Yeah.
constant
It's a
siya.
process.
It's a process, it's a constant and direct intervention with the communities.
You know, but I'm so amazed at how you find the time to do all these things. I mean, you're so involved with too many different things at one time. But how do you find time for all this?
Actually, Happy Noy, we've been doing it for the past 6 years. No? We started in 2000 and the end of 2006, formally in 2007. So this has been my life for the past 5 years. No, the elections in 2010 was a break, but this has really been what we've been doing for the past so many years. No, ito talaga this is where we've put our money where our mouth is. No, we really want to see development through social enterprise.
Ika nga, they say that the busy man is the man who has time for everything. Di ba? Sabi nila. And so, you still have time for love. I understand that you're getting married already.
Yes, I'm getting. She was here actually. In 2010, my fiancée was here. She was my girlfriend at that time. We're getting married in September.
Well, that's good news. Congratulations.
Yes. Umuo siya. Umuo pala.
By the way, you are current president of Tayo.
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 Yes.
10 Accomplished Youth Organizations Award Foundation. Tell me something about this.
Okay, Tayo started 10 years ago. So when I was still in the National Youth Commission, it was one of the programs that we continued even after I left government. We set up a private foundation to continue the program. We award the best youth organizations in the Philippines, and we're on our 10th year. So we invite all of the youth orgs who have community-based projects, or we've actually had a few who Youth Solidarity for Peace actually was from Zamboanga. I think they won last year or 2 years ago. There's another group from ADZU that won also. We award the best youth organizations with the best projects, and I invite all of the youth who are watching na merong youth org to join, no? Because it's the 10th year. It's going to be a very special Tayo Awards this year, and we're hoping that we can feature and recognize even more youth organizations. There's always a good stream of youth orgs from Mindanao. In fact, there was 1 year, 5 of the top 10 winners were from Mindanao.
Really?
So, marami pong mga galing na youth organizations dito. You'll see them in all parts of the Philippines, and this is one of those advocacies that even if I transition to social enterprise, we still kept it, no? Because there's a lot of youth orgs who need our support and need our help and need to be recognized in our country.
Okay. Here's a question coming from one of our televiewers. Former po ako volunteer ni Pinoy nung eleksyon. At si Ma'am Margie Guico ang pino-coordinate ko. If Bamakino will run as senator, I will be glad to be his volunteer. Coming from Andrew Saavedra Galera.
Okay, thank you, Andrew.
May basta na. But first you have to be
On the
included.
slate, exactly. Right now, Andrew, it's really being on the top 12 first, no? There are 16 people being considered. So I'm hoping to be in the top 12. So if you want to post it on Facebook or you want to put it on Twitter or sabihin mo sa mga kaibigan mo, you're part of a youth org, please do so kasi we're trying to get support to be on the final
I'm just
slate.
interested in finding out. I mean, is LP more attuned now to trying to put in young blood into the party.
We're hoping. Kumbaga, that's what we're hoping for, no? That
It's an old party, and who was it who said that it's like an old Mercedes-Benz who needs brand new parts to make it more hip.
hindi naman more hit, maybe ano lang, to put in, the mindset of this generation and younger, in.
The youth.
Kasi again, as I said earlier, 90% ng mga Pilipino is below the age of 50. So, we need to refresh. We need to refresh the party also. But there are a number of good young leaders already there. And if I'm able to join their ranks, I'll be one of the other good young leaders who are there.
I'm just interested, how politically involved are the younger generation these days? How would you assess?
I think, as what Bam said earlier, I think we have so many mediums right now to express our thoughts and ideas. So we are not very the activist type that we always go to the streets, but I think there's many avenue that we can express our ideas. And I think youth right now are more involved into this kind of activity.
Yeah, what about the guys?
There are many media for us to lend our voices out, not just being the activist type nga, sabi ni Sir Arvic. Siguro, I must say about Bam's plans for running for the Senate. Siguro he's one of the, is in the best position already. And he's one of the, sinasabi nating pioneers or dalubhasa ng social entrepreneurship. And with that, to be able to give social entrepreneurship a chance to make a difference sa country natin. Simula dito sa Zamboanga City, kung pwede.
Thank you, Carl. Salamat ka mo Thank you.
What better endorsement than that?
Iba na eh. We have to understand na iba na yung panahon ngayon. I mean, I'll give you a few examples. Kanina we talked about yung mas marami pang naaabot si Ann Curtis araw-araw kasi sa Inquirer. I mean, think about it, di ba?
That's true.
If you remember, the whole scandal with that the kid in Willie Revillame's show, yung si Jan yung sumayaw,
Yeah.
and they got off air for maybe a week or 2 weeks, no? That was because of a blogger. I mean, that blogger from UP started that, no? Hindi siya broadcaster, hindi siya senador. It was a young blogger who wrote about it and said na, I don't like what I'm seeing. I think this was really in poor taste. And eventually, the companies that were supporting that show pulled out.
Yeah.
And they had to get the show off air. So, iba na yung panahon, I'm involved also now with Go Negosyo. We featured a number of multipreneurs, entrepreneurs on Multiply. They work from their houses, they sell very, very good products, and they do it from their houses using Multiply, using the internet. And it's just a very different way of doing things. And feeling ko, in terms of participation, iba na rin eh.
Oh, iba
diba?
rin.
Iba na rin eh. Yung sinasabi nila na yung aktivista, maybe yung old model, our old model of activism has changed.
Siguro conventional
Yeah,
type
but
yun.
on the other hand, maybe they may not, kasi ako, dumanan ako sa time na nasa kalye ako, but maybe the young people these days may not go on the streets anymore. But you know what? Pagdating sa global issues, mas alam. Mas connected sila sa global issues more than we were when we were student leaders. So,
Well, if you really come to think of it, that's a more proactive way by which we do things now. Activism should equate into more involvement in trying to solve the problem rather than just raising placards.
pero may challenge yun yan. And the challenge is getting from a like button to actually doing something on the ground.
That is true.
That's the challenge,
That is
no?
true.
Because sometimes it's so easy to press like or unlike, but you end there.
Yeah.
Diba? Yun naman yung challenge. Kung mga pro and con, the pro there is I think young people are more connected to issues. Things get to them faster. Mas naiintindihan nila, mas global yung tingin nila sa mga bagay-bagay. They are looking not just for quick solutions, they're looking for real solutions now. But the challenge, on the other hand, is getting from putting it on like or posting it to actually doing it on the ground. Yun yung challenge naman sa kabataan.
Yeah, come to think of it, even here in Zamboanga right now, it is the social network that keeps even governance in check through ZC 2020 and all those other very critical blogs that you have on the internet right now. No? And people have even stood up against the coal-fired power plant that they're trying to put up through the internet. So that's how involved the youth is insofar as yung sa mismo internet natin, they do have their voices come out. But yung kwa naman natin dito ngayon, here's a question for you. Yung LP natin, yung Liberal Party natin, quite recently you have a coalition. How will you be able to maintain yung focus ng partido, and what you are trying, the change that you're trying to make for the country, with, of course, this other party coming into the coalition.
Yeah, I think right now the plan for the admin slate is to have multiple parties there, no? So I think my NP, my NPC, my LP, probably Akbayan will also be there. So, you know, the parties basically looking at it from the point of view na, you know, these different parties have something else to offer. So we'll put them on board because merong kanya-kanyang ino-offer yan. And the same with individuals. No? We all have something to offer. Of course, I'm basically saying na we want to represent young people. We want to represent micro-enterprise and supporting poor communities through social enterprise and micro-enterprise. Everybody else will have something to offer. You know, another candidate will have something to offer. And I think at the end of the day, the party will say, okay, what do each of these people have to offer? What does the slate have to offer vis-a-vis the president also and his plans for reform in our country? So palagay ko, nasa proseso yan ngayon ng pag-determine ano ba yung kayang dalhin ni Bam Aquino, ano ba yung kayang dalhin ng ibang kandidato, what does the slate eventually stand for, and how does this connect to what the president is trying to push. I think what we have to offer, which is representing the young in micro-enterprise, these are important issues. These are issues that cannot be ignored, no? Hindi pwedeng ibaliwala. Importante yung mga issue ito, which is why I'm hoping to be on the slate. But of course, as you know, and as we all know sa politika, there are a lot of things that still have to be determined. So, sabi nga, I was in another interview the previous week, and sabi nila, it's so refreshing to talk to somebody who is saying that he wants to serve, rather than yung, I'm not sure, or tingnan natin, let's wait for people to convince me, mga ganyan. Sabi ko, I think yung kabataan din naman no? We're very authentic, we say what we mean, we say what we feel, and you know, at this point, I have what I have to offer, and the party will have to decide if that is what they want to see in the final 12.
Well, you know, Bam, it's a nice thing that at least we have somebody who is willing to put his cards on the table and say that this is what I am and this is what I want to do for the country, and at least it's for you to assess whether you want me there or not. You agree with my policies, because it seems that some other politicals would be hesitant to be able to speak out as to what the programs are, because they are so tied up with what party affiliation is all about.
I think that's an advantage for me because I'm a newcomer. Kumbaga wala akong baggage na kailangan protektahan, number one. And number two, if they don't get me, I will continue my work in social enterprise, and I will be very happy doing it. No? I mean, this is what I've been doing for the past so many years, and this is what I will continue to do, whether in the Senate or outside. So, in that sense, you know, I've said that I'm willing to serve. I'm willing to do my share and to do my bit. I've asked so many young people throughout my life to step up. You need to do your share for the country. And feeling ko maybe now it's my turn naman to say, ako naman yung mag-step up. And it's up to the people ready to decide if they want.
Do you feel, Bam, that even in your leadership, your example right now, should be a light for other young people to be able to come out and say that they want to serve in government?
Yeah, definitely. And this is the best time. I mean, we have an administration that is supportive of reform candidates. We have an administration that is, and a president who is supportive of innovation, no? I mean, nandyan yan and it's the best time to do it now. Why wait for a president who is corrupt, or for a president who will, you know, shoot down innovations and shoot down reform? Diba? Let's do it now na favorable yung environment in terms of the admin. When that Inquirer article came out that I was being considered, ang namin nag-text, and there was one text that really stood out sa akin. And this came from another young leader. I won't name him anymore, but he's somebody I respect very, very much. He's in business. He's a leader in business more than in politics or in social enterprise. And isa lang line, sabi niya, Bam, thank you for stepping up. And for me, it meant na this is somebody who is around my age, is about a year older, telling me na, oh, at least nauna ka na dyan. Thank you for stepping up. And what it meant to me was that maybe it is actually a clarion call for other people of my age to also start stepping up, diba? Start saying na we want to be part of the governance process. We want to do more. And you're right, it is a risk. I mean, sa totoo lang, pwede akong hindi ko di ba? I think delikado yun. Or kung ano namang mga skandalong lalabas bigla na kung ano-ano. But, you know, I think if you do want to serve, why stop yourself from serving, di ba? And I think if other young people will say, we also want to step up, whether through youth organizations that we will eventually award in tayo, or social entrepreneurs who will eventually support poor communities, why not? Or maybe even young politicians who want to join governance, no? I mean, I'm very close, of course, to Congresswoman Climaco, who is also a very young leader. Diba? Why not step up and say, I'm here, I'm willing to serve, and we want to do more.
Yeah. We do have a lot of questions or some reactions. Yes, I will post it on Facebook. Don't worry, my youth organization will always be there. Our organization is registered youth serving institution of NYC. We need a leader like you in the Senate, from Andrew Saavedra Galera. Second time na to.
Thank you, Andrew. Maraming salamat.
Okay, we have run out of time, and as I said before, the only limit to no limit is time. It's been an interesting afternoon, and I would like to keep these guys over here for a longer period of time, especially with Bam here, who it's always a pleasure to have you here and talk about all these things. It's always a pleasure to have a bright guy speak about what he thinks about the country and what we need to do something better for this nation of ours.
Thank you.
Bam, thank you very much for being here.
Salamat.
And also, thank you very much, si Carls and Arvic, for joining us here also
Thank
in
you.
No Limit.
It's our pleasure.
Hasta la siguiente No Limit, kayo bibigyan na sa Zamboanga. Dr. Siyempre Salvador, with Kun Bam and Carls and Arvic over here. By the way, if you missed some portions of this particular show, we will be replaying this again either tomorrow, and we are also in Facebook, so you can click us there, and we will come up. You can play us there also. So let's get No Limit. This is the servidor, Ronnie Ledo Talamutas. Gracias. Bye bye.
Napakadaming inosenteng buhay ang nawala at 4 sa ating mga kapatid ang nangamatay dahil sa pamumuno mo, Mordo!
Pero nanalo kami. Napatay namin ang mga Chino at nailigtas namin ang Sanctum. Wala akong pinagsisisihan.
Nakalimutan mo na siguro ang totoong dahilan ng lahat, Mordo. Masyado kang nakasentro sa laban. Tayo ay tagapagtanggol.